Recording in progress. Birte, Job, and Thomas, welcome to the what we call the Kboix Experience meeting room. It's a huge pleasure to have you with us. I will pass you the mic. You have already green light to share your screen if you have any content, visual content to share. But now I just leave it all to you. The stage is all yours. Anything you need, I will be on the backstage. Okay.
Thanks, Francisco. So hi to the Kboix community out there. I think this session today is revolving all around the product. So we are sure that you are very excited to see what we're bringing across to you today. And before that, so basically myself, Birte, I'm the product manager, and Job being the designer. And then we also have Thomas in the call, who's the developer of this project. Okay, so we are basically the so well-known creation triad, so to say, a triad working very strongly with product manager, designers, and developers. And then obviously we have our technicians, our pattern makers, our material developers, who help us in the background to bring this whole project to life. Okay, so we are here today to show you a little bit more about the concept, the product. We're going to let you in behind the scenes a little bit about our design inspirations. We're going to tell you when we actually started this whole thing and what role Killian and Killian's vision plays in this project. So this is the main aim. I'm actually going to present some slides to you today. So we have a presentation that compiles all of this. And then at the end, if I'm not mistaken, we are going to look into look to answer some questions that you might have, and we just take it from there. All right. So we basically going to get going. Let me quickly start sharing my screen and then see if it goes.
If you need any help, just let me know.
Yeah. Let's just first see whether
we can see already your screen.
Let me just quickly. I just need to get to the whole presentation quickly. Give me 2 seconds. Hold on. I think we have some struggle to get into.
I saw that you have Google Slides presentation. Is that the one?
Yeah.
Okay. So best thing is when you choose so share screen. Okay. And then if you go to Google, so we see already your screen. You go to Google Chrome. The best thing to do is instead of choosing like a specific document, if you only have one screen, go with like full screen. Share the full screen.
Yeah. But we just have to quickly close the freezing here.
Okay.
Close all the windows. Let's quickly make sure that you are still there, that we don't close this one. All right. So
I'm trying to share my screen now. Can you see?
Yeah.
Okay. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, we do.
Okay. B, should I share this one? Is okay?
Yeah, just have it open, but you can go ahead now with sharing it. Exactly.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to put in slide. Normally you can see bigger. Let me know if it's correct or good for everyone.
It's all good.
Okay. We have this bar straight ahead, so we can't really see you nicely now anymore. So that's
nice.
Couldn't see the top bar. All right.
We are all smiling. We are all smiling. So you're good to go.
All right. So here we are today. Team, we want to tell you more about the Kboix, the shoe reinvented. Okay. And I think what we are doing here today is it's basically also the beginning of a new idea. Okay. So when we did this together with Killian and started the process as a brand and as this project, our idea behind all of this is also to change the industry, to give it a little bit of a different take to it. And many people here of you in the school know today that we have the traditional way of making shoes. Okay, so we're talking about a lot of shoe parts, whether it's the midsole, the outsole, or the upper, all basically glued together. Okay, so we do know the benefits of all of this, but we also do know that it's a really tricky situation when it comes to the end of life of the products, when it comes to the repairability, or when it comes to the sustainability. During the creation process, when glue and parts are combined, it's really, really tough to decompose them or to take them apart into different kind of pieces. Okay, so what we wanted to do here was really change the industry, focus on something to be like, how else can we make or build shoes differently so that they either last longer, or that we can buy one shoe and then maybe in the future buy certain parts of it that basically acts as a service model. I mean, how amazing would it be if you have one shoe and then you just in the end buy new parts however you need them, whether it's the midsoles, whether it's a new upper, whether it's your new outsole, but then you still have purchased only this one pair of shoes. Okay, so ideally you buy one pair and then you change the components throughout the whole life of your life and the shoe. Okay, so when we had a lot of discussion with Killian about this, it's basically also that we always want to stay in the evolution, and we always want to adapt, and we want to bring a product to you that maybe covers you on different scenarios. Okay. So if you go to the next slide, Tomar, you can just basically see a little bit more about it. Okay, so here we have the most innovative trail shoe designed to last and evolve with you. Okay, that was key for us. So it's a multi-sport modular shoe. It's not only now a trail running shoe. Okay, you can use this shoe for your outdoor enthusiastic hikes out there, or whether you are training, or whether you're just like going from a transition from a hike trail into a running trail. So it's not our crazy racing icon like the Girac is. It's more of an adapted version of it. Okay, so the shoe comes with interchangeable midsoles, which is the concept behind it. And that is basically adapting you to various terrains or various body types, or maybe to various conditions, training conditions that you are in. Like I said before, here you can see the design a little bit of the different midsoles coming in the different colors with the different naming, so that it's also easy for you to know which midsole to pick for a certain moment. And they all come with different qualities, which Tomar will highlight a little bit into it. But mainly we chose them now to cover the biggest spectrum from a runner, which is when you run for train, when you run for recovery, or when you're running to race. Okay, so this was our starting point to realize which kind of midsole do we need at what moment. Then here is basically the whys behind it and the key topics on one slide. Okay, so it's mainly the concept and what does the product answer to this concept. All right, so really it's basically something that we want to reimagine the world of trail running and the trail running and how shoes are constructed. And this is why we have invited you along on this journey to basically help us test this product. Okay, to help to listen to you, to maybe even get more suggestions after you've tested it that we can implement. So our really key thing is to do this together with you. So this is where you're also lucky, and we are, to have such a strong pool to basically help create us in the last final stretches. Okay, so we have one ambition with this product is also that we change the way that all of us buy certain products in the outdoor industry. We want to also challenge the way of how we design things, and this is where Job will dial into. We want to challenge how things are being manufactured and how they are being sold by introducing a new business model. I want to explain to you a little bit about what the naming comes from, because that can maybe also link two things together. So the K in the product name stands for Killian, who's played an integral part of this whole creation. It's his vision, his idea, and together with us as a product team, we constantly talk and test together with him. Kboix is also a word that comes from the Mallorquin side of it, and this is basically where we link it back to our nature. Okay, so it's basically also a herb and something that we really can bring together. So we combine our vision with Killian and being close to our history together in this kind of mix of spirits. What is it? It's a multi-sport modular shoe, and it has strong components. Okay, we're playing with our technology partners, which is Vibram. So we working really closely with them, which is not an easy task as well. And Tomai can highlight the difficulties of such an outsole design and the technicalities, but it's a mega grip light-based mix. And in the upper, we really have the strong matrix material, which we also use on the Girac, which is pretty much indestructible. Okay, so here we're working with the toughest material where the Kevlar yarns are threaded into the upper to really make sure that we have the strongest, most durable upper out there. Okay, we kept the naming of the midsoles pretty clear and simple and easy to understand. So we're naming them KB1 soft, KB2 reactive, and KB3 bounce, all coming with different properties, coming with different hardnesses, and also coming with basically also different compositions of the compound. Okay, so this was also going to be an interesting one, that this is new to the performance world. This kind of construction of shoemaking has also been more in the casual side of shoemaking, but not so much into performance. So here we are working through the pros and the complexities involved, whether it's midfoot stability, how do we do certain things. But here we're really working hard, and now we basically want to guide you a little bit in through the whole design process of the Kboix on the next slide. And I think this is where I have Job jumping in over here. And here you can first, before the next slide, here you can see a full picture of the lateral view. Okay, so you can see the rubber outsole, the band of the capsule wrapping up to the end with the 2 double stitches, the 360 stitch going all around, connecting the upper to the midsole. And then our nice normal branding, which is a bit different compared to what we have it on the Tumi and on the Girac. And as you can see here, it's not a TPU foil or a big branding on the shoe as we have it, but it's actually embroidered into the design. Okay, but I think this is the best part to hand over to Job to show you how we came along the design process.
Yes, cool. Nice to meet you. I'm gonna bring you a little bit back into like our brand DNA more, I would say. You can go to the next slide, Thomas. I will go super quick because we're here to speak about the Kboix, and I'm sure you have a lot of questions for development and design and the whole team. But just to show you that we align also with the Kboix, that it fits really our brand identity. So for us, the slogan really important is normal people doing extraordinary things, doing disruptive things that should be normal, should become normal, kind of. So like normal, obviously, like everybody knows, is Kilian Jornet with Camper doing high performance gear for the great outdoors. The design language of normal as a brand reflects this. Like Kilian is a very humble, down to earth super athlete that just keeps blowing the minds of the whole outdoor community, while he is just having fun, it seems like. And Camper is all about bold interpretations of archetype, shifting context of design classics and innovation, always with a humoristic and relatable twist. And like here, you see an image of Kilian wearing his first racer shoe of normal, obviously, and the first prototype of the Kboix, what was kind of created out of the reason of we were wearing the Kilian race shoe for in the mountains, and we wanted to like make it more durable, so like a less racing version of the Kboix. So we wanted to have like a rubber capsule over the midsole, which is of course the Kilian racer shoe is like a humble, no nonsense design with no consolidation in performance, archetype running sneaker silhouette with the hidden superpowers. That's kind of our brand identity meaning behind the Kboix, I would say. And our Kboix shoe was kind of coming out of that, like how to improve already well-working shoe, or how to expand the collection without cannibalizing or adding, saturating the market. You can go to the next slide, Thomas. So actually the first prototype was idea of Don Lorenzo, who is the boss of Kemper, who's like still really attached to shoemaking, and he said like, I would like to see the shoe more durable with like a rubber capsule over the sidewall. And then here again you see the first prototype. You can go to the next slide. Based on this idea, when we showed this to Kilian, he also had an idea like, could we maybe make the shoe even more adaptive by like, we actually realized that if we go with a rubber capsule, we can also do the upper until the strobel, filling the whole rubber capsule, so we can leave the insole loose on the inside. And Kilian had an idea like he would like to have a shoe that's adaptive for like multi-terrain or multi-weight kind of purpose. And go to the next slide. From there, we had a technical idea on the table then. Started investigating a bit like what kind of aesthetics or what kind of flex point textures, how to stitch the outsole. You go a bit from like more extreme open to save weight on the left top to the right completely bottom, what looks almost like the final, how the final shoe is. You can go to the next slide, Thomas. Next slide. You see a couple of prototypes actually made in our workshop in Mallorca, trying materials, proportions, fitting, colors, all certain kind of things we tried. You can continue, Thomas. And then here, like each little step towards closer final design, I would say, like on the right in front, you see almost the final design. We still had we had to reduce some more weight from the TPU, and we did like another stitching. But yeah, you can already recognize the final shoe. You can continue, Thomas. And then here you see the almost final shoe. There was the one before final, I think, but
and I think this is great. This is getting closer to the shoe that our testers will also be receiving. Like Job said, might not be the final one, but we wanted to give you a little bit of a sneak peek into where we started. You know, when we get into the first materials, when we have an idea how quickly we can actually turn it around in our workshop here. And I think our key is that, you know, that we want to offer this for different types of people, for different kind of needs. Okay, all our shoes have the durability standard that we want to have for normal. All right, so that's something that's key. And here we really want to push the new way of changing the industry for offering performance shoes with interchangeable midsoles. I think that is key for us as a brand, and this is a whole new concept that we want to do. I don't know if you had more slides.
That's it for my part. It was a bit like a look behind the screens or behind the scenes.
Yeah, we wanted to show you a little bit of where this version that most of you not so sure will be receiving soon, is how it all started to where we are now. And I think now it's a good moment to also step into the technicalities of it. So Thomas, maybe we can get going on that one. I think that's where we follow up now. So
yes, correct. Can you hear me?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Good. Well, hi everybody. So I'm gonna try to cover in a short time, because the most important is questions today from you, but talk a bit about the journey, how long it took us to arrive here, and also the technical aspect of it when it comes to lux height, midsole compound, all of this. So let's go into the journey. So you saw the explanation from the presentation from Job. So this is where it started. So this is the prototype, the first prototype, a Kboix that most of you know, hopefully, with a protective, like a rubber capsule. So we started this in March 22. Okay, so back in the days, almost 2 years. Okay, Then here we are 2 years later. Today we are almost, we're almost 2 years later of like R&D, we call it prototyping. So this is what Job and Beert explained. We do a lot of prototype in-house. We also do a lot of prototype with our factories. So basically here I try to summarize, in 2 years, we did 3 generations. So when I say generation, it's like 3 different versions, which means a different design that each time we need to test. So each time we do a new design or try new materials, we need to test 2 months with our testers. So in total, we did 3 generations, around 50 prototypes of these 3 generations. We tested on a base of 20 runners from professional until amateur level. And then we try to cover 2 different terrains, which is the main one is in Mallorca, which is very rocky, very technical, very high abrasive for the rubber. Also, it's very dry. We don't have rain here. And the second one is in the Alps, near Chamonix. So here we try the mud, we try the steep and more the wet during winter. And well, I don't mention Norway, but Kilian also try over there. Okay. So this is more or less what it took us to arrive here and to the shoe that you have in hand. Today, we need your help to test it and get more feedbacks. So we are still in R&D, to give you an idea. So it's a long-term project. A regular shoe normally takes 12 months to develop. Here, we are already at 24 months. And obviously, what counts the most is the performance, okay? So I'm going to go into more deep technical, but I try to summarize the key ingredients that we have in the shoe. So Beert already mentioned. So we use on the upper we use Matrix, which is from Shamatex, most of you know. It's a more breathable and lighter version than the one we have on the Kboix. The weight, we are looking at 280 grams. The stack height, which is the total height, so where your feet are standing compared to the ground, for you to have an idea. I think most of you also know this kind of measurement, but we are looking at 30 from the heel, 24 on the forefoot. The drop is 6 millimeter for all the midsole. Then we use the same technology of our product, light base plus mega grip. But here the most challenge was to build like a 3D cupsole. I'm talking for the rubber outsole because normally it's more flat, it's easier to engineer. So the challenge here was really to build this high protective rubber outsole and also still have a very lightweight product because rubber is a very heavy material. So I guess, well, you all know that the more rubber, well, the more weight we get. So here we have a very lightweight product, 280 grams with all this rubber. Then we have a 360, the double stitch that we use on the Tomir, but is also replicated here. We use 2 stitching lines instead of 1 because this product is supposed to last longer because we are changing the midsole. Then we have an embroidery branding that Job explained. And then here, I would say the most important is the business model of the midsole. So we have exchangeable midsoles. The total thickness of the midsole is 2317. So just to give you an idea in terms of height, we are between Kboix and Tomir, all right, in terms of midsole height. So I'm going to go to the next slide. If I didn't lose anyone, if it's too much information, I'm sure you will have questions after. So the midsoles, when you come to the midsoles, we have done a lot of work in testing different materials. How do we test materials? We test in lab, but also we test on human because lab is good to test the durability, the compression set, but we also need to validate this testing on testers. So we do these 2 types of testing. So as you know, we have 3 midsoles, 3 different materials, different harnesses, and then different purpose. So here, I didn't put all the data because it's too much numbers, but we try to summarize the main characteristic, I would say, of these midsoles. So the first one is called reactive. This is so before I start, all the three midsoles are super critical for me. So it's a new process. The TPU called reactive has a hardness between 45 and 50. So it's slightly harder than the two others. Okay, so here, and then we have the P-bar, which is 40, 45, and then we have the EVA that is called soft. So as you can see on the graph, the TPU has more rebound if you compare to an EVA. EVA is softer, and when we say deformation, what you see is basically the shock absorption. The rebound is the capacity of the midsole to recover the energy. So whenever it's called, that's why we call it rebound. Then I think you can easily see the difference to be tested. So as you know, we have tested on 20 testers. We have the lab tests that are validating what I'm showing you today, but hopefully we get more data with all of you in the future. Okay, so basically for the TPU, this midsole is more dynamic. It's a slightly harder, and I would say it's nice for short distance, and it has more rebound. The P-bar has a very good rebound and absorb better than the TPU. This means in very technical terrain, the midsole absorbs the shock even more. The EVA is more, we recommend it more for, training or recovery because it has an amazing shock absorption. So it has a lot of cushioning. Okay, so that's it on my side. I think we can open the question. Birte and Job, what do you think of Francisco?
Yeah, we can go if you're ready. If you want, Thomas, you can just stop sharing just to allow everyone to see each other.
Exactly.
So if you like to, so we have already Sam as the first one. Let me just highlight Birte and also Thomas
you don't necessarily have to highlight. Oh, all right. So you're highlighting all of us.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
It's always good to see everyone. Sam, hi, nice
Sam,
to see you again.
Hi,
welcome. Feel
everybody.
free to ask your question.
Yeah, Sam from Road Trail Run in Chile, Park City, Utah. So just a couple quick questions. When you say 280 grams, what size is that, Thomas? For what size?
Good question. It's 7.5. UK.
7.5
UK.
UK. So that's 8.5 US, right? Okay, good.
Right.
Good.
Yeah.
And the characteristics of the Kboix midsole in terms of compared to your chart, please.
So compared to the chart, the Kboix midsole is more like an EVA. It's also a good question.
More like an EVA, you said?
Yes, correct. So in terms of harness, because so it's critical form EVA, but here the newness in Kboix is that we can use TPU as a raw material and P-bar that, as you know, have different properties.
And the durometer of the Kboix compared to the Kboix?
It's slightly hard. 45, 50.
What?
45, 50.
45, 50.
Yeah.
Okay. And I have just sort of a design challenge question. How do you keep the different midsoles secure in the shoe so they don't, say if you're off camber, rotate? Is there some stickiness? What challenges did you have there?
Well, I can answer that. And basically, the midsoles and the outsole is really designed in one-to-one. The outsole is a cup soles, and then you see it's not that easy to enter the midsole in the shoe. Actually, I can tell you this today when you receive the shoe. But really, the sole, the midsole doesn't move. It's impossible. We are calculating at less than 1 millimeter, so it fits like a glove into the rubber cup sole. And the rubber cup sole, because when you think rubber, you might think about thick, not flexible material. In our case, the way we design this cup sole is really a very soft, flexible rubber. So it's like a glove, I would say, onto the midsole.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's very exciting. Thank you.
Sam, we missed your question because I remember the questions on when we did the press day, and like when you know, all your questions are super interesting because we know that you know a lot about shoes. So thank you so much for those challenging
Oh,
questions. So
well, it's my
we missed
pleasure
the
to be
questions.
part of this adventure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now we have Tom. Join the stage. You can unmute yourself and go on.
Hi everyone. I'm sorry I'm in a public place. I have not the same question as Sam. I would like I would just like to know if the Kboix and the Heva cushion are enough for running like in the road or a hard place. If the shoes could practice on the road sometimes or really not.
I mean, we did some of our testers actually run on road. They were happy with the shoe. I wouldn't say it's a shoe for road running. You can use it for road because the lugs are very high. We have 4 mm on the lugs of the rubber, right? But to answer your question, the EVA, same as the Kboix, are really good material for road. They actually comes from road running. Kboix was used before trail running, was used in marathon running shoe.
Okay, yes, thank you.
Thank you, Tom. I will just now we have Ben. Ben, you can join the stage.
Hello, it's Ben here from England, the UK, the north of England. I actually have a question about the outsole, and you just mentioned there about the lug depth being 4 mm. It's a very English question, this, by the way. I noticed on one of the slides there was an opportunity for Vibram resoling, and I know you said then that 4 mm is an aggressive lug. Here in the UK, where I run, and the terrain we run on, 4 mm is not an aggressive lug. I'm currently running in 8 mm, 6 minimum, because the ground is so soft and so muddy. Is there ever going to be an outsole available that would have a deeper lug? And can you like talk me through that Vibram resoling opportunity?
Yeah, I think, I mean, Ben, of course, good question as well. I mean, statement, because we also hear that a lot from the UK market, all right? And I think that's why you have also different shoes on the market with different lug lengths so that you can cross into different terrains, okay? So we have a really strong collaboration with the Vibram, and you could see last year, now we are promoting our repair process more and more, you know, working together with certain cobblers in certain areas where you have the opportunity to resole your normal shoes, okay? So our vision as a brand is to also push that kind of, because we want to extend our longevity of the product. And even with the Kboix, I mean, we designed it in a way and we are creating it in a way so that resoling is possible. Okay, so in the future, we might roll out different capsules, so to say, that have maybe different lengths, different lug profiles, depending on the condition. So that is definitely something that we as a team having as an idea and on our rollout ideas. And that's the nice thing about the shoe, is the evolution, and is the concept of buying one part and then being able to exchange certain parts. So it's constructed in a way that together with Vibram we can resole it.
That sounds amazing. Thank you. Yeah, and I didn't mean that to in any way sound negative either. It's just that we often struggle in the UK to find a soft ground shoe. It rolls out kind of 75%, and I know we're only kind of a small market here, but it's something that we really need, especially during the winter. So thank you. And just quickly, one last question, and I apologize if someone else is going to ask this, but what is the durability for the different midsoles? What's kind of the lifespan roughly you would give each one, and the upper?
For the midsole or the upper? Sorry.
Both actually. How many miles would you expect them to?
Okay. Well, basically the upper is very strong. We haven't got any breaker point at the stage 3 with more than 1,000 kilometers. And the midsoles, we are still studying. We are still putting a lot of kilometers into it. But as you know, a midsole start losing the cushioning after 700, 800, right? So that's why we are doing this project, because really the midsole is the first piece that is dying in trail running shoe. So that's why we choose to build this cupsole and to use the strongest upper, because the midsole will be the first thing to replace.
Yeah,
From
that's great.
because of the abrasion and because of the cushioning as well, the lack of cushioning.
Yeah, I understand. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I've got more questions, but I'm going to let other people ask. So
No, please, please, please. Thank you, man. Ciao, ciao. Chris, feel free to unmute yourself and you're ready to go.
Hello, everyone. I have a question around the durability of the cupsole. Like, what are the advantages of that over a more traditional sort of trail running outsole? Because it seems like a big starting point for this. You mentioned that it's one of the originating ideas of this. Why that, and what are the advantages of that specifically?
So should I be a job? Yeah. Yeah, the outsole, I mean, this capsule protects entirely the midsole. So in terms of durability, the midsoles in trail running suffers a lot of abrasion, right? Depends on the terrain. I'm sure in the UK, maybe there is less rocks, but here in Mallorca, for instance, or in other countries, other mountains, there's a lot of abrasion. So that's the first issue encounter on the midsole. And the rubber cupsole protects completely the midsole in this case for Kboix, right? So that's the aim of the capsule. I don't know if that's clear, Chris?
Yeah, no, my Shirags definitely get a lot of abuse there, but I think one of the brilliant things of the Shirag is how the EVA foam sort of juts out, and that easier protection, especially in the toe cup area of the shoe. So I'm really curious to see how much that cupsole works. The second question I have around the foams is, is the EVA that you're talking about, is that the same X-Pure EVA that's in the Shirag currently, and what's going to be in the Tomir 2?
Yeah, so it's slightly softer, I would say, but it's the
Slightly
same
softer?
characteristic in terms of compression set, in terms of, it's really the same properties, but we are looking at it's a bit softer in the Kboix. But also not so much. To give you an idea, the Kboix and Tomir, we are around 45, close to 50, and here, as I showed before, was between 40 and 45. And also, your foot sits directly onto the midsole in this case. That's also a difference from the other trail running shoe and the shoe in general, right? Because
so there's also no insole in the Kboix, like the Shirag.
Correct, Chris. So basically, you feel much more cushion, and your foot sits directly into the midsole, getting all the properties of it. Because normally you have a layer of straw ball and glue that cuts a bit of connection, right? So for this reason, it feels a bit softer, but it's the same properties as Kboix and Tomir.
I have one other question. It's sort of related to
Chris, sorry, can we just, if we have time, just to allow everyone that is on the line, and I will promise that if we don't have more time today to ask the question, you leave the question on Telegram, and I will make sure just to share the question with Birte, Job, and Thomas, because we don't want anyone with questions. So I hope you understand. So Irene, now it's up to you. I will put you on stage. You can unmute yourself and let's go.
Hi, everyone. I have a very quick question. I have my own orthopedic sole. Can I adapt this in Kboix?
That's the best question of today. No, okay. So I would say this is the next project for us. So we started with 3 midsoles. As you know, it's a very long-term innovation project for us. We need a lot of time to develop, but we are looking now into the next generation of midsole where you can integrate the orthopedic. But right now, I wouldn't consider putting an orthopedic on top of the midsole.
So I tried without.
Yes. Yeah. It's also an anatomic midsole, so it's not flat. We have some protection for the arch. The heel is protected. It's not the same as your orthopedic for sure, but yeah, it's better to try without. Irene.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Thank you, Irene. And it looks like that you did exactly the same question as David. So just like I said, teamwork here. David, do you have any other question, or shall we continue?
I have it just very quickly. I did
Let's
have a
go.
question of the orthopedics as well, but just very quickly, you mentioned that it was very difficult, if I understood right, to actually put the midsole into the shoe because it has to it has to be very tight. If you have to give an estimate of how long does the whole process takes of putting it in, taking it out, and change to another one, how long would that be? And just a follow-up question on that is, I know there is apps like Strava that allow you to track how much have you used a midsole. So, or a shoes in general in this case, is this something that you're going to leave to the consumers, or are you also going to provide a sort of a tool that you can provide how much have you used each of them for tracking purposes and when to change and etc. And that's it. Over.
I think if I can quickly jump in on that one. So first of all, David, it's a good with the in and out. I think this is something. So some people take very quickly, and others also take a little bit longer. So we had an internal competition about this, I'd say, as well, when the midsoles came in. You know, how to put in and how to release. I think when we say it's very hard, it's not that hard, but you need to have it a couple of times in and out so that you can try put it nicely into the shoe. And I think this is exactly what Thomas said, and what I want to highlight here again, when we did the capsule design and the durability and why the length and why the thickness and why so high, is I always used to like to say that the midsole goes in like an undercut shape and it sucks into the outsole. Okay, that is the key for the shoe, and this is how we can control and really optimize the movements of it to keep it as stable and grounded as possible. So I would say anything from 1 to 3 minutes, I would say, guys. I don't know, where you are, 20 seconds?
Faster,
5 or
faster.
10 seconds?
Yeah, I would say 30
5
seconds.
seconds.
Five, people have done it a lot, is 5 seconds, and the other ones, if you select it, I would say, yeah, 20,
You have to
20
learn
to
it a
30
bit.
seconds.
Yeah, you have to get like the hand of it, like the grip of it, but then it goes quite quick.
And then quickly reminders of the second one. Oh, that was how to track the distances. And I think this is where we are working on something where we can load it with Strava together in a program, so that you can basically activate your runs using the different kind of outsoles. So the KB1, KB2, KB3 can be locked into the normal world, and then as you run, you connect your midsole to the run. Pit stop challenge with the Kboix.
I like the
There
idea.
you go.
And by the way, for those of you who don't know what Normal World is where you get access to the training insights that you got from being selected to participate in the Kboix experience. So it looks like that we have one more question. Now I think that we move from Spain to Italy. Luca, it's up to you now.
Luca mentioned weight earlier.
Luca, I'm sorry, but I think, well, I think no, I'm sure that we can hear you. Maybe it's because of the earplugs. We had the same problem with Killian in the first event. Nope.
You can, Luca, you can also put it in the chat. I mean, if this is maybe a little bit
Yeah.
easier.
Or if you want, you can leave the room and come back. Maybe it will work. Okay.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we go with Martin.
Martin, surprise, surprise. It's now up to you. Let's go.
Okay, hi everybody. I have a question about midsoles. What is the weight of each midsole? Did you also consider the option that Kilan himself presents in Kboix video, that is changing the midsole while running?
Okay.
So, for example, how will a person be able to carry these midsoles in a running vest or belt or something like that? Or will the normal vest be modified in some way with these midsoles? That's the combined question, but I think it's...
Okay, so the first one was about the weight of the midsoles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, so the overall weight of the shoe, Martin, is 280 grams. Okay, and the weight of each midsole, to be honest, I don't have on top of my head here, but we are less than 100 grams for sure. I think it's around 80 grams. But each material, each midsoles have a different weight, more or less 10 grams, I would say. So you are looking at something very light to carry in your bag or the vest. Yeah, that's all I have today.
And the second question was about the campaign video of like Killian running and changing the midsole while running, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry,
But go ahead.
no, can you quickly repeat that one, Martin? Because I think, I mean, I think I can answer that, but I couldn't
Did
retract
you
what you were asking.
did you consider the option that Killam Hilton's presence in Kboix video that is changing while we run, and is it if it's possible to change it while we running, or it's because of weight, if we run with another ones midsoles, if it's possible.
Yeah,
But
yeah, that's definitely the
we all
concept.
know that every gram is important.
Yeah, yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
So
no, definitely. I think that's 2 gels less and 1 midsole in the vest should do the trick. We are definitely looking into this, and I think that's why Thomas says we are trying to also always compensate with the weight. We're looking into how we can reduce the weight of the shoe. We have it now at 280. We will see how we develop in terms of the technologies. But if it's between 80 and 100 grams, the concept of the shoe is that you can carry a midsole or 1 midsole at least with you, depending on the terrain. You know, some people really have a change of terrain from easy gravel to technical trail, which then have a different desire. You know, they maybe want to have more rebound on a certain, or depending on if it's a recovery run on a race. So definitely 2 should be taken. That's the concept that we want to promote.
Great.
Okay. Martin, thank you so much.
Thank you.
There's one. Let's go for the last question. So there's one from Rebecca, and Rebecca is asking, what is the shoe like in wet conditions, such as after crossing a river? Does the rubber cup affect water drainage?
Yeah, so I can take this one. So we tested the shoe in water, I mean in muddy terrain. I would say it depends of the type of mud we are talking. If it's the UK or because we only have 4 millimeters, the water goes in and out thanks to the upper. We also have some in the outsole, some cut. So you can cut the outsole in certain area to allow the drainage. But that's for a very extreme condition, I would say.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have actually 2 questions that are exactly they are super similar. So Sam and Veselina, they are asking the weight of the shoe 280 is with a midsole or without the midsole?
I forgot to mention is with the midsole included.
Yeah, with
Okay.
the midsole.
Okay, good. And one last question, because Luca can't join right now, but he wrote me on Telegram. But since this event is going to be recorded or is being recorded, his question is: the 3 midsole are the same geometry and size. The difference is only for density and materials. That's his question.
Yes.
Yes, correct. So hardness, density, materials, compression, resilience, all the properties from midsole.
For now, this version, and this comes back to the evolution of it, this is the first iteration of the Kboix. So the midsole is made out of 1 midsole mold, so to say, coming with the different compounds, as Thomas was saying. So the midsoles all have the same shape, all have the same look, all of the same size, with a 6 millimeter drop. And then this is where we're also inviting you to test and give us feedback on all of this. And I think this is vital for us as well. We brought a concept and a vision to life, And iterations is all depending on your feedback that we can do. And we deliver the shoe at the end of March. 3 months of testing. We're looking forward to get the feedback from the community to really think about how can this evolve in the future even more.
We have time for one more question before we close. Like just one more question. So this one comes from Eduarda from Portugal. So related to Rebecca's question, when cleaning the shoe, how can we clean the midsole? Is it okay to take it out of the shoe and clean everything with water?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, also what you can do is cleaning with a brush or something like that. So I think there's many ways to clean a shoe as best as possible. So all parts will be easily cleanable for sure. And then I could see another question here.
Yeah, from Nathan.
About the KB1, KB2, KB3, and this is exactly the KB1 soft refers to the recovery. KB2 with the reactive, more of a TPU based, is definitely more for the firmer feel, for technicals. And where we use the P-bar, what the good question we had earlier about the P-bar coming from road is the bounciness, okay, and the recovery of it. So definitely for longer runs and definitely keeping ultras in mind for sure.
Okay. Thomas, Virte, Job, mission accomplished. I think that you passed the test of all the questions from the Kboix Experience group. And I really want to say thank you so much for accepting the invite to be with us in this second event of the Kboix Experience with this Q&A session. And obviously, thank you so much for all the work that you are doing. Not only working with the Kboix, but also working with all other normal products, but especially with the Kboix Experience, because this is what this experience is all about. So thank you so much for your work. I'm super proud of you. So thank you. For our community, thank you so much for being with us. Obviously, just like we've mentioned in our kickoff event, we will try to stick with the 2-week period of sharing content, but obviously we are always trying to find more information, more details to share with you. But at least in 2 weeks you will get more information. Maybe before that, we will potentially share with you some like a feedback form in order to understand how can we improve this Kboix experience in order for you to get as much value as possible out of it. But for now, thank you so much for being with us. We really hope that you can take, or that you took a lot of value out of this, that you now understand a little bit more about how is it to work on a prototype, more about the Kboix, so the shoe that you're going to receive and test, and hopefully you will share as much information with us as possible to help us create like the final version of the shoe. So once again, on behalf of the whole Normal team, thank you so much for being with us. Any question that you might have, please feel free to share it on Telegram. We are again honored to count on you as the group, the testing group, but not only like the people that is part of this process of building this new concept. Thank you so much, and we see you on Telegram. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Ciao.
Thanks for testing.
Looking forward
Thanks
to
for
the
it.
feedback.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao. Thank you, everyone.